Music streaming platform Spotify paid out 58 billion naira in royalties to Nigerian artists in 2024. This was double the amount paid out in 2023 and 5 times the amount in 2022. Across the globe, Spotify paid out a record $10 billion. Arise Business Correspondent Rotus Oddiri attended a music industry gathering hosted by the company in Lagos and sent in this report.
Global music streaming company Spotify released its annual Loud and Clear Music Report on Wednesday, March the 12th. Now, on the homepage of the site, the company says the point of the report is to give artists clarity about the economics of music streaming. The site also aims to increase transparency by sharing new data on Spotify's royalty payments and breaking down the global streaming economy, the players, and the process. One of the main takeaways from the report is Spotify's royalty payments in 2024. In total, it amounted to $10 billion to all artists on its platform. The company says it is the highest paying music retailer globally, and its lifetime payouts amount to nearly $60 billion. There are several other standout data points on the report, like how artists across a range of languages made money on the platform beyond English and Spanish. Digging deeper into the payouts, the company disclosed further revenue-generating data that showed the growth in the number of artists making a specific amount of money over a given period. For example, the number of artists that earned $1 million on Spotify grew by 215%, from 460 artists in 2017 to 1,450 in 2024. What about the number of artists that made $5 million on the Spotify platform in a given year? They grew by 320%, from 50 of them in 2017 to 210 in 2024. But what about the big one? $10 million. 10 artists made that amount in 2017 on the platform. The figure grew by 600% to 70 in 2024. A day after the release of the report, Spotify gathered music industry CEOs, artists, journalists, radio presenters, and social media influencers for a breakfast in Lagos, Nigeria, to discuss the growth of the music industry on the African continent and also in Nigeria. The breakfast included 2 fireside chats, one on the economic impacts of streaming in Nigeria with Jocelyn Muhutu Remi, who started her career as a journalist and is now the managing director of Sub-Saharan Africa for Spotify. The other was with Fiona Okumu, head of music for Sub-Saharan Africa at Spotify. Fiona was, interestingly enough, featured a year ago in an article in This Day newspaper, Nigeria's newspaper of record, where she said for longevity, Afrobeat artists need to be business savvy. Revealed at the breakfast was that Spotify had paid out 58 billion naira to Nigerian artists on its platform in 2024. Jocelyn Muhutu Remi spoke more about that.
Today's a big day for us. We're really excited to announce to the Nigerian music industry Spotify's contribution in 2024 in terms of royalties, of revenue for the music industry in Nigeria. 58 billion naira is what Spotify distributed to the music industry in this country. This is double the year before and 5 times since 2022. So as you can see, there is exponential growth. More and more artists are benefiting from streaming. So streaming is really becoming a central part of the creator economy in Nigeria.
We caught up with the CEO of record label Chocolate City, who spoke about the quality of the Nigerian music ecosystem that Spotify had brought together.
I think it's a great event. It's been a while I've seen the quality of people, industry stakeholders gathers together. Like every top record label have a representative here, and the representative are the key men. So I think it's good. I give kudos to Spotify for bringing everybody together and having conversations.
We spoke to Fiona Okumu, head of music for Spotify Sub-Saharan Africa, about gender equality at the executive level in the music industry. and she took the conversation beyond the executive level.
Cautiously optimistic. I feel like, yes, now, nominally, compared to 20 years ago, you are seeing more women executives. However, I don't think the job is done. I think we could stand to see a lot more. And I think that even reflects in things moving away from the executive level conversation. If we now go to the actual consumption, there's a problem, right? There's a problem, which is, it's better now. We have 4 or 5 mega stars that are women. 10 years ago, we had hardly any. And I'm speaking in a Nigerian context, right? You look at the charts, top 50, top 20, typically you're going to see maybe 2 or 3 female artists on there. So I think that what we see in music kind of represents what we see in society, which is the fact that women are not represented enough or sufficiently anywhere in the world, be it the music industry, be it, mining industry, engineering, you name it. There is always going to be, or there is always that gender disparity that we need to address. We try to make a difference at Spotify. We have a program called Equal, which is literally about righting the wrongs of how this thing all balances out. We can't do it alone. It's something that the industry as a whole needs to make a priority initiative, right? So I, for example, when we are drafting a program for Equal, and it's all about making sure that a certain percentage of women are playlisted, a certain percentage of women, you see them on billboards, their stories are told. Everybody else in the industry should be replicating that in terms of look at our board. There's 12 men and 2 women. Does that make sense to you? No, it doesn't. Should we be changing that? We absolutely should. So to answer your question, not yet uhuru, as they say.
No conversation about music would be complete without the impact of artificial intelligence on music production and also the risks that it might pose. Jocelyn Muhutu-Remi addressed that.
Artificial intelligence is here to stay. There are some challenges with it. Some artists are being dishonest and using it to produce music, and the entire industry is trying to figure it out, right? But more generally, though, I really think that Africa and Africans need to wake up in terms of our presence in large language models. We're not present enough. Our narratives are not available. Too much content comes from other sources rather than our own. So for me, that is the one thing that I'm worried about, is we need to feed these systems with our own content, and so at the source, we need to produce more.
Unprecedented.
We also caught up with Kayode Baker, head of programs at Rhythm FM Lagos and also an artist, and we asked him if streaming platforms have given artists a new level of independence that means they no longer need record labels.
If you're independent enough to be able to afford these things, then you might not need a record label. The reason is simple, because now music videos are becoming more affordable, and also you can learn and shoot that by yourself. You can also record your music. Everything is DIY today. So you can record your music, put it on social media platforms, get it on the DSPs, and then stream and wait for the end of the year and get your revenue. And the best part of it is because of the DSPs, they can stream to Spotify and also other platforms as well. And then at the end of the year, like I mentioned, all your revenue comes together in one place. So if you're independent enough to be able to afford it, then you don't need a label. But if you do have a label, they can take you further than the regular place, maybe internationally. And that's where record labels come in. If you don't want you, what are yours?
An important point of discussion during the breakfast was the hurdles that the music industry in Nigeria faces. This was articulated by Jocelyn Muhutu-Remi.
At the moment, it's a small number of really very successful artists that are, doing well and traveling across the world. But what we want to see is the middle class of artists really thriving and making a living from their art. There are some challenges indeed. From a technology perspective, the metadata that is behind every song is not well captured sometimes, so it means that the real rights holders sometimes don't get their money. The rights management system in general is sometimes lacking. Financial information is not always there, so artists sometimes sign deals that are not in their favor. Their managers are not always well trained, etc. So these are some of the challenges. But definitely the art is there, the entrepreneurship is there, the consumer is becoming much more tech savvy and adopting streaming platforms and paying for them. One thing that needs to happen is for consumers to understand that by paying for music, they're actually remunerating their favorite artists. 70% or so of Spotify's revenue goes back to the artist community. So those Naira that you're putting into Spotify, a lot of it goes to the artist community. So you know what to do.
So we've spoken to executives, we've spoken to artists, we've spoken to the music ecosystem put together by Spotify here in Lagos, Nigeria, and the story is the same. It's a growth story, it's a potential story with respect to what music can contribute to the Nigerian economy and generate in terms of jobs for the artists and all the players within this ecosystem. It's encouraging, and we're hoping to see more as the years go by. For Arise News, Rotus Oddiri.